Welcome to A Husband's Heart.
I can't wait till I get you on for good looking. Hey, you and I so hot, just like an oven. And I just had to touch it. It's so fine.
Welcome to A Husband's Heart, a podcast where married men come together to share their stories, explore partnerships, commitment, love, and connection. And whether you're seeking insight, advice, or simply a place to feel understood, this is a space for real conversation from one husband's heart to another. My name is Terry Stinson, better known as T. Stin, and I'm so glad you joined us today. Now, before we dive in, please don't forget to subscribe, like us, share, leave a comment. This truly helps us grow and spread the message that till death do us part isn't a death sentence, but it's the foundation of a life well lived. So I'm excited today. I know I've said that before, but I really am. I'm trying to get this gentleman on the show for a while. We've been having schedule difficulties, but we finally made it happen. Listen, this gentleman is 42 years old. He's been married 7 years, second marriage, 2 kids. He hails from, Brooklyn. Yeah. You know what time it is. His alma mater is Southern Polytech right here in the Marietta, Georgia area. He's an entrepreneur and investor. His personal brand has Seed and Shields Financial, and he has Moses the Mentor program. Yes. Some of his personal goals is he and his wife, they left corporate America back in 2024. Their goal is to fully replace corporate income and maintain corporate dropout status. I love it. But some of his accomplishments, he's been in leadership for over 20 years now. He's also into real estate. He's also launching the Moses the Mentor, which we'll speak about a little later. And one of his, check this out, some of his hobbies. I love this. Sports and the family. This man loves his family, and I'm so excited. I had the pleasure of meeting him a while back, and he just always has an awesome spirit about him. I want to welcome Moses Nelson. Moses, welcome.
Nice to see you.
Thank you so much for sharing your time, and we finally made it happen, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I had a long drive.
Yeah. Yeah, right around the corner. Yeah, this guy's awesome. So listen, Moses, we're going to start off with some rapid fire just to let the audience get to know you a little better and you get comfortable. Give us your elevator pitch on Moses the Mentor.
Sure. So Moses the Mentor, it really fits me because, as Terry really noted, I've been a people leader for 20 years. So, having a great name like Moses, I just kind of married those two and said, okay, Moses the Mentor, right? So it started out as just being a financial advocate to the people and really learning different ways to actually make money, take care of your money, keep your money, but really fell in love with rental properties. So teaching people about how to actually buy the right rental property, manage it effectively. So the Moses the Mentor brand is really based on true mentorship from start to finish, the whole 5-step process that's what I've been doing probably about a good 6 years now.
Okay. So tell us about your 2 companies for anyone interested in an IUL or Section 8 investing.
Yeah. So I'm multifaceted, right? So you noted. So Seed and Shield Financial is my insurance arm. So I'm licensed in life insurance, annuities, and but I specialize in something called a max funded IUL, which is Index Universal Life. So I'll just break it down really quick. So Index is an investment strategy, right, where your money is not necessarily in an index fund. It's just tied to an index fund. Your money is always with an insurance company where that's the reason why they can guarantee that you'll never lose money, right? So what they do is they invest your money in a certain way to where you get what's called a cap rate. So it'll be up to a certain percentage, but you're guaranteed never to lose, right? So Index is the investment strategy. Universal Life is the actual insurance portion of it. And obviously everybody needs to have life insurance. So that's a big part. So I specialize in max funded IULs, which is key.
Okay, awesome. That's good. So listen, now my podcast is based upon, marriage, of course, and we're going to get into that. But before we talk about marriage, let's talk about you. I know you got the beard like Moses with the perfect name, Moses.
Yes, sir.
But who really is Moses Nelson?
Yeah, man. Woo. I've evolved, man. I would say, growing up in Brooklyn, it was really about just being really tough. Like everywhere you went, like if you guys would see me as a 5-year-old, you wouldn't believe it, man. I was probably tougher at 5 than I am now. I'm a teddy bear now, but just really kind of just walking around, building a thick skin, not letting anybody really take advantage of you was really important as I grew up as a kid. And when my size, I know your audience can't see me now, but I'm 6'9". I'm huge. I'm physically imposing. And it's crazy that God kind of blessed me in this way that as I grew, as I got bigger,
Right.
it was almost like he was like, okay, I don't want you to use that aggression that you had when you were younger because it could get dangerous.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it was almost like as I got bigger in physical size, I became, not soft, but just more accommodating, empathetic.
Right.
And those are things you need when you're my size because, the con of being as big as I am is that you don't get a lot of benefit of the doubt. So to answer your question, I've grown into just a well-rounded, I still can say young man, even though the grades is there,
Right.
well-rounded young man to really focus on his family, obviously my wife, my children,
Right.
being a great son, great brother, and that's just really what I focus on.
That's awesome. So speaking of brothers, so how many siblings did you have?
Total, man. Ooh, I'm not even gonna bring up my father because my father, that dude probably got 10 I don't even know about.
Right. Well, how about the ones that
I grew up with?
Right, or that you had a connection with growing
Yes.
up? What was that like?
As far as the ones I had a connection with, for sure, I had an older sister. She's passed away. She was the oldest. So it's my sister Julia. So I had one sister that I grew up with, loved to death, everything like that. And then I had a sister who passed away before I was even born. So it was two girls.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have 3 other brothers. So 2 older brothers and 1 little brother.
Then they were all in the New York area.
Yeah, we all grew up in the same house. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So big family, considering now, I only have 2 kids. So
I don't know why I want to ask you this. I mean, is your background, do you have any Caribbean in you?
yeah, my father's from Panama.
Wow. I don't know what made you ask that.
Yeah. So truth be told, my name is actually Moises. So I just go by Moses. It's Moses in Spanish.
Okay.
So
okay.
Yeah. Piquito Espanol. So I don't,
Piquito me too. That's good.
Yeah. So my family is from Panama.
So tell me this, what did the young Moses wanted to be when he was growing up? Of course, I know, like you said, with your size, most people, you sports and all this, but what were some of the thoughts that ran through the young Moses' mind? Say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this maybe as I get older.
For me, I used to be a big dreamer.
Okay.
Like, a lot of times I tell my wife this, I'm like, man, I miss how I used to dream because as you get older, you start experiencing things, you have that barrier. You'd be like, oh, but this is going to cost too much or it's going to take too much time. That wasn't me for sure as a kid, man. I used to drive my parents crazy.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a NASCAR driver. I wanted to be a basketball player. I wanted to be an accountant. All over the place because before the internet was popping, my favorite thing to do was to go to the library and get the career outlook handbook. It was something like that where it would show all the jobs with future outlook of stuff like that. So I just always been a person that wanted to be successful and I wanted to do it on my terms. So when the people would say, hey, Moses, you're so big, you should do this. If they only knew, it really kind of made me want to go the opposite direction because I'm just, a person, I want to do it my way. I'm going to work hard to do it. But I was just really kind of just really ambitious. I see in my surroundings, I seen a lot of my peers go the wrong way. I never was a follower. Never. There's no one from my neighborhood that could say, no, oh man, they call me Junie, so they would say Moses. So if somebody said Moses, they don't know me as a kid. So it would just be, I never was a follower. I was always really just somebody who wanted to really be successful and make my mother proud.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm trying to, awesome attribute because a lot of young people, and particularly young men, they fall in the trap of trying to fit in, peer pressure. I think we all experience some type of peer pressure.
Yeah.
But it's good to hear someone where you knew at a young age that you didn't have to follow. Not that you made all the right decisions, but you felt comfortable and valuable enough to yourself to know, I don't have to do what these cats are doing. And I can relate to that too, because man, I grew up in the inner city, seen a lot of things. But the good thing that kept me on the path, and I probably said it before, was my father. My father was, he kept us straight, me and my brothers, because I didn't get in trouble because I didn't want to get in trouble with him, right? Yeah. So the police didn't have anything to worry about from me, buddy, because my father would be like, my father was the opposite. You're not innocent until proven guilty. You're guilty until proven innocent. Right. Yeah. So that kept me, like, I already knew, man, I don't want to get in trouble with my father. So I say that to say, I had friends, man, they were my buddies. School. Mm-hmm. They're like, yo, man, we're going to cut this class and that class. We're going to go down the street to the store. I said, y'all go ahead. Call me, hey, I get with y'all when y'all get back. I'm not going. But we were still friends. So I learned early on, look, man, make your decision. You can still be cool and you don't have to do what they do. And I said that to mention, hearing you say what you said about how you knew and what you wanted and you weren't just a follower. That's just something to young people out there. You don't have to try to fit in. If you feel in your heart that's something you don't want to do, hey, stand up, be okay. And you can still keep your friend. You'd be surprised how much you think, hey, well, I got to be friends with them or I got to fit in. When versus you can stand on something that you truly don't, you believe in and still maintain a certain, not only maintain friends, they'll respect you even more. Man, they're like, nah, he's not doing that. You 100%. Know what I mean? And then you don't have to go through that pressure.
Right. It's about you can be consistent regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a friend, my thing is if I'm gonna go to school, I'm gonna get good grades. That's just me. Like it don't make sense. I'll respect you more if you just didn't go. like I never understood that. I had a friend, I remember like it was yesterday, his report card, he had 50s in every class but the one he was in with me. He had like a 95.
Right.
Because he knew, like, this might be, somebody, this is my friend, but when we in the class, we need to do our work.
Right.
But that just goes to show you, every other class, he was just completely, didn't show up or just didn't care.
Right.
And I was just like, wow, but I've always been consistent like that. And my mother was the one, like your father, my father he was a little softy with that. He was just working. Right. My mother was like Mike Tyson. I did not want no smoke with that. And me being the second youngest, I would see my sisters and my two older brothers. I'm like, why do y'all want to go through this? I just knew better.
You can see, bro. You're like, I don't touch the stove to know it burns. Okay?
If you want me home before it get dark, trust me. I ain't playing that. Yeah. That was me.
Oh my goodness, man, you're funny, man. That's pretty good, man. Yeah, that's wow. You said a lot because I thought I had a quick thought was I had a friend too who this guy, he looked like a nerd. He wasn't in the in crowd. He didn't get the girls. So just looking at him, you just assume he making good grades and all of that, right? He wasn't in the in crowd. And this guy, he lived in my neighborhood, cool little cat, and report card time came in. He had the worst grades. And I said, you guys don't know. I said, Ed, I'm confused.
Right.
You got all these F's and D's, but you show up every day. If you're going to fail, go have some fun, man. What we doing here? You're showing up every day.
Very true.
You're not in the in crowd, and you're failing. Hey, man, why even come?
I'm happy.
If you're going to do it right. Do it big.
Do it big, yeah.
So I feel you on that. But listen, man, let's move on. So listen, tell me the story on how you met your wonderful wife.
All right. Now, I'm going to tell you my story.
Yeah, tell me your story.
When y'all meet her, well, you've met her, you know her.
Yeah.
Like, she going to tell you it differently, but this is the truth. So, all right. So the truth is that, my wife and I, we met at work.
Right.
We met at work. I worked for a company where I was leading the contact center operations, which is a very high volume, high stress job. And before she got there, we needed a learning and development partner because, it's a lot of change with the call types and things of that nature. And we were just like, I guess, driving these folks crazy because they would come in and they would just quit. They would quit within 3 months. So it was around the holiday time. So I took my 2 weeks off for Christmas or whatever. And before I had took my time off, my boss was like, hey, when you come back, the new learning partner is going to start. And I was like, nah, I ain't worried about that. We already kind of start doing it on our own. Like I start delegating tasks to different folks on my team to start designing training and all that. So he was like, listen, I'm not going to get my hopes up for somebody who's just going to be here for 3 months.
Right, exactly.
So I remember it like yesterday, come back probably like first or second business day of that January. And I see this beautiful lady in the break room, and I had never seen her before. And I was like, oh, this is probably the learning partner. I was like, all right, here we go again. She might be beautiful and all, but I gave her like whatever, like, hey, good morning or whatever. Yeah. I sure did. And, my boss, was like, hey, let's, introduced her in the staff meeting and everything like that. And he was like, hey, I don't want to say her name, but she was like, you're going to have to work with Moses and his team a lot or whatever. And I'm just kind of being professional, but rolling my eyes at the same time, like, oh, here we go again.
Right.
So she and I start having one-off meetings. Again, nothing romantic, because I was so focused on the work. I was so tired of the constant, attrition of this turnover of this role. So quickly I realized, I'm like, wow, she's smarter than the folks we've been dealing with, right? And it turned out she's a PhD. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to work a little harder with my pushback. So I'm pushing back, and she's saying things like, well, that seems anecdotal. I was like, damn, she using that word. Shit, I gotta come with, okay. So,
One of those. Huh?
You one of those. So I'm like, oh man, here we go. I've been working in this industry for all these years, and I gotta prove it. So she and I would do like these working sessions, and I think what really helped us really form what we ultimately have today is that we really realized that we really were true to our craft. Like, what I'm saying? Like, we were people that's just not going to speak about it. We will really work hard and to be great at what we do. So initially it was just this great respect professionally, because ultimately she stayed with the company, but then eventually she got a role within a different division in the department. And, I guess she missed me. So, we start really just communicating that way. And, she, we took her on a date or whatever. She was a vegan at the time. So I had to endure some really nasty food at first. Wow. So it was a lot of love behind that one.
Absolutely.
So
I share your pain.
Yeah. Oh man, it was
my
so
wife
bad.
was a vegan when I first.
So you understand, it was horrible. I went to all these vegan restaurants. I was like, man,
what we do for love, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I think, for me, with her, what I really appreciate is that, not to be too, religious or anything on the show or whatever, but my wife was really someone who helped me kind of get into church as well, like just really get closer to God.
That's awesome.
She was like, hey, come to my church. And I had been to that church a long time. I would come in and out, but it was a sermon that was called Being Faithfully Attractive, because, my grandmother was a big church person, a lot of people in my family, and it wasn't just really Bible pumping, it was really someone that was just really relatable to try to help you understand your relationship with God. And my wife was that for me early on. So I just really built that connection with her as well. And we just kind of, we rode out from there. She was very adamant, like she dated with purpose. And I had to ask myself at the time, because I was married before.
Right.
I was like, do I really want to do this again? Because I felt it was very clear. She was like, hey, I'm not going to waste my time. So let's make sure we're on the same page. And I remember the moment I told her, I said, you know what? The reason why I know for sure I want to do it is because I couldn't see you with anybody else. Like, if I go somewhere and I can see anybody else I might have dated before, I'm like, oh, what's up? Hey, what's going on? How you doing? I can see her with 10 guys. But I knew for me, if I had seen her with somebody else and I had the chance to be with her, it wasn't going to be good. So I said, no, I need to put a ring on it. Wow. And that was a great decision.
Wow. Listen, we can talk on that just for the rest of the show, but let me ask you this. So when she did move to another division, was that also out of your building, out of the facility? Like, you didn't see her on a regular anymore?
It wasn't as regular. We would be messaging each other, or, hey,
so you would no longer see her physically?
Not as much, no. So yeah, we, it was just one of those things. And I went on the date. We went on our first date, I remember. And this is going to be the funny one when she see this, but I was like, you sure you don't want to kiss him? And she says this to this day. I was like, you sure you don't want to kiss these lips? I'm like, you sure?
Dude, what we get?
I'm like,
What's
and,
wrong
and
with her,
she
Bo?
laughs.
Right,
She laughs to
right.
this day because I knew she wanted to kiss me.
Mm.
I'm telling
You
y'all,
knew.
I knew it.
Yeah.
But she just wanted to be able to say not on the first date. I was like,
Exactly.
man, get out of
Yeah.
here with that.
See, I'm like, Bo, go ahead.
You sure you don't want to kiss?
So how long did you guys date between the time you like? And not only how long did you date? Go ahead and answer that.
I think it was, man, I'm really bad with the overall time because I really feel like I've been married to my wife 20, 30 years because we are always with each other. It's ridiculous. But technically 7 years. We dated around 2 years before we got married, and then we worked with each other 3 years before that.
Let me ask you this. Now, you may not know the exact time, but what was that moment or that time period when you kind of, not so much you mentioned her, you mentioned about you couldn't see her with anyone else.
Yeah.
But when was it in the early part of dating her when you started to have those feelings, when you go, man, you think it was like the first month, second month, the first 6 months, certain things?
Well, let me just say this, and she said she shares the sentiment to me too. So all the folks out here, I know this is about promoting healthy marriages and things like that, and I do have one, but I think to be a great husband or wife, you also got to be okay with being by yourself too. Like
Yes.
I truly was like having the time of my life
Right.
before we got together, and she says the same thing too. So I think for me, when I realized like, hey, if I'm okay by myself, but I still would rather spend time with her. And that's when I was like, okay, well, this is different because, some people, always have to have that companionship. And I was just not on it at that time. So for me to take away my alone time to be with her, that meant something for me. And I would say I probably hit that pretty early. Like I tell her to this day, she came to the house and she ain't want to hardly leave. I used to be like, "Oh, you coming over again?" I'm like, all right, cool.
And I think we have different stories, most men, but the same baseline. Even with my wife, it was just so organic, man. I couldn't. It's just, you know how when you whiff the one, I used to almost play the mental games. Like, I know she's like she's wifey material. She hit all the check boxes. She's really nice.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're like, okay, come on, man. She can't be that damn good, right? Yeah. But for me, you're right. I was always okay. I was living my best, I shouldn't say my best life, but I was okay. I was okay being single, right?
Yeah.
But I just found myself when I met my wife that it was I just like being around her. It was different than like when you know how you date some people and you like either you with them for a certain amount of time. Not that you dislike them. You're like, no big deal.
Well, let me add this too, because I was guilty of this early in my dating life. I used to always like to date women who had similar interests as me. And, I'm not saying it's a general rule, but, my wife is very, I even say it, I tease her, say her stuff is corny, but it's actually a good thing that we have different interests because we can introduce things to each other over time.
Right.
And because I used to be like, man, this person got like the same movies I like, the same music I like, and I can honestly say there's things that my wife has exposed me to that I would have never liked. Absolutely. Like I'm from Brooklyn. I'm a hip hop head. When she used to play her little Christian rap, I was like, don't put that in the car not one time. Now I know at least 10 of those artists that I'm like, these dudes are the real deal. Like I really enjoy the music. So stuff like that. And I'm sure she's picked up things from me as well. Absolutely. But it's when you're looking for someone, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. I think the key is realizing that early on, if you can love the imperfections, then that's when it's really the one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because my wife asks a bunch of questions. I can't stand it.
Oh, man. We got the same wife? I mean, you said she was vegan. Mine was vegan. Mine's asked a lot of questions, asked a lot of unique questions. Had me watching movies with no words. I had to read the movie. I was like, what are we doing here?
Oh, yeah. No.
You know, she tricked me. You know, I saw subtitles. I was like, okay, when are the subtitles going to end?
Right. The whole movie subtitles.
Oh, the whole movie subtitles. And I'm sitting here going, I like her. I can do this. 10 minutes went by, 15 minutes. I said, the whole movie? She said, I got to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
But anyway, the things we do. What do you think? What did your wife find attractive? What do you think she found attractive about you early on?
My confidence.
Okay.
Yeah, like, 42-year-old me, I'm gonna get my maximum confidence back. But I was definitely, I consider myself a confident person now.
Right.
But yeah, I was always really confident in myself, my abilities, and not just because I just woke up like that. It's because I really put the time and energy and effort into it. She's seen me in the workplace, performing really well, and I was able to do that. My confidence spilled over because of the work behind it. You know what I'm saying? It's times where you need to be humble and step back, but then it's sometimes where you have to say, hey, I'm the person for this and lead. So I think that was something she was attracted to. And, a lot of ladies love my beard. I mean, I'm just keep it real. I cut it one time and my wife lost her mind.
When you said cut it, how far down did you cut?
Like I was, truth be told, it was a moment where I was like really getting fit. I was really fit at the time. And I was like, man, I want to see how my face look, my real face. I want to see the whole face again, like the baby face. I can't.
I could warn you on
Yeah,
that one.
you know what I'm saying? I was like,
myself.
You tried it too.
Oh,
So I was like, I want to see my face. I want to see myself again. And man, my wife looked at me like I was an alien. My baby daughter did too. Luckily, my oldest daughter, she didn't see it.
Yeah,
She was in college
yeah.
at the time. They looked at me like, you better never, ever do this. They were so used to, like, I personally didn't mind it, to be honest with you.
Right.
Personally, I didn't mind it because, you growing the beard out, you're itching sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just, my face is too fat right now to cut it off. I gotta lose some pounds first.
Hey, when we cut it off, man, I look like a tadpole, man.
Oh,
like a little alien, little lizard. They said, please don't do that. I said, trust me. I said, who is that guy?
Man.
But yeah. That's part of our identity. So do you have any or had any type of support system in your marriage, or just from past experience you felt like, how does that look for you?
As far as like being a better husband or something like that?
Just a support system like friends, family, clergy, I don't know, or just you two. I don't know. Was there some type of system that kind of holds you accountable to a certain extent? There's no right or wrong answer.
No, I feel you. I think if we had a better system, we would have less conflict. But unfortunately, both she and I, we love our family and stuff like that, but we don't really have a lot of, like good examples,
right?
To mirror. Sometimes you learn from the right examples. Sometimes you learn what not to do.
Right.
So I think she and I both come from a place where we love our family, but we know, okay, we don't want to do that. We don't want that in here. But you'll have some bumps along the way. But again, the bumps don't feel good. But again, that's what really make it like solidified.
Yeah.
Like I can honestly say, like, there's never been a time I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this. Like, and that's because, like, she was on her second marriage as well. So we kind of know what it looks like to like go from being married to not being married and not to do. But we still have moments where we're like, okay, I can't bring some of that old into this, but not being with each other is never an option. You know what I'm saying? And, it just is what it is. And we just did our trust. So when you go through a trust, if anybody who hasn't done it, oh my goodness. So, it's till death do us part, man. We ain't dealing with that trust. Wow. Not again. That thing is jam-packed with stuff.
That's awesome to hear. I mean, it was refreshing to hear you say that, because you mentioned that you didn't necessarily have role models or a blueprint, but you guys knew you don't want to be apart, and you have already made that commitment in your mind and to each other, which tells me and tell others, because some people go, well, I've never seen it, my past with all this baggage. You can make a conscious, mature decision to do the right thing or the healthy thing. Just by you saying like I've interviewed different people.
Yeah.
You hear people over the years, and it's just good to hear you say, "Hey, I didn't have this, this, and that, but I do know what I don't want. I
Yeah.
do know what we do want, and you guys just committed to that." And it's just good to hear that. Let me ask you this, Moses: what do you hope that your children learn about marriage from you and your wife example?
Well, it's a big one. I have 2 daughters,
Mhm.
and so that's another reason why I gotta stay in shape, get in shape, because I might have to whoop somebody.
No,
So,
Moses, you just show up.
I
Yo,
know,
you good, bro.
but that can only be for so long.
That's
You know what I'm
true.
saying? Like, I don't want them to be like, yeah, he big and tall, but I can hit him in the knees. No, I need them to know that
Right.
I can destroy the complete destruction. So I'm gonna get this. So I got 2 daughters, and
Right.
for me, man, it's just gonna be so pivotal for me to feel comfortable
Mhm.
that they marry a man that could really lead a
Mhm.
household, and be selfless
Yeah.
while doing it, man. Like, that's going to be key, because I want to be able to sleep good knowing that they're okay. My father-in-law passed away, but
Mhm.
I'm sure he sleeps well seeing that I take care of his daughter. I'm not perfect, but I think I know for certain that, that approach to leading a household is something I'm going to be really looking out for. So I'm hoping that the way I lead
Mhm.
my ladies in my household, they see that they won't settle for nothing less than what I
Awesome.
show.
Awesome.
That's
Keep
what I'm
doing
doing.
what. Also, too, before we move too forward, is um, when you mentioned about staying in shape. I know you now because I have a daughter who's in college,
Mhm.
and I think about the 50 Cent movie when they met. The young boy came to date his daughter in
Mhm.
the garage. So I'll be using you at the garage.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah. That's where I was going with that, brother. So thanks for being
All
my
right,
new
cool,
friend.
cool,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. Let me ask you this: is there anything difficult, not necessarily negative, just difficult in marriage, in your marriage now that, and do you think it would ever get easier?
Man, I don't. I ain't gonna lie to you. My wife is a PhD, right?
Okay.
And it's a gift and a curse
Mm-hmm.
for me, because I'm a person that, when I have something in my mind and it's ready to go, I'm in
Yeah.
execute mode. It's hard to hear questions at that point. Like, it's just really hard, because I feel like I've done enough analysis. I'm ready to go, but my wife she's just gonna ask questions. It's her nature. It really is. And I think she and I both are getting to that point where it's like, man, it ain't never gonna change with us with this. We just gotta figure out
Exactly.
how, like, the grace
Right.
we're gonna be able to give each other along the way.
Yeah.
Because when I bring something up, it's not like it just popped up.
Right.
It's because I've already done my own analysis, and I'm like, yeah, this makes sense. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this.
Yeah.
But then she like, well, have you thought about this? And it just drives me. It's like the cartoon. It's like immediate. I'm like, I wouldn't have brought this up if I wasn't ready. But that it just is what it.
Man,
But
you
that's
must
the
be in the
love.
household, man.
That's
So
the love.
no, and you know what, but I love what you said, extending that grace
Mhm.
and knowing those like it's like trigger points, and you almost have to self-talk yourself. You know what I mean? But man, that's awesome to hear. Now let me ask you this: do you feel responsible for your wife's happiness?
I do, but that is difficult.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably articulate this better in this podcast than probably I've done to her, because she says it sometimes. She says things like, like, I'm very soft with my mom, with my daughters.
Mm-hmm.
I view my wife as my peer. And I'm probably wrong. So if you guys watch this and say, hey, he's wrong or whatever, I respect it. I'll take it. But, like, it's kind of like, my mom, she's like my senior, respect your elders. It comes out naturally.
Right.
My daughters, I want them to feel like, here comes daddy, save the day type of thing. My wife is my peer.
Right.
This is how I feel. Like, it's hard for me to be on some, like, are you okay? It's just kind of hard for me to do it. I'm gonna be honest. So I know I'm responsible for it, but I know for a fact that my level of patience is not the same at times when it comes to my other ladies. Again, ladies, you probably cussing me out right now. I apologize. I can only tell you how I naturally feel.
Right.
the love, the wife is number one, but it's just like my peer. It's like,
listen, it is so refreshing. That's why it's husband's heart. Because listen, man, and I can imagine even in your particular situation, because when you met your wife, you met her on the job, you seen her skill sets, you guys worked as work comrades. So I understand that thought process. You know what I mean? So good. Should you have expectations of your wife, and should she have it of you? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah. It should be expectations. I mean, if this is your favorite person, I mean, this, I remember when we got married, she said I needed to give her at least 50 years. So, man, I got a long way to go. So, I think she should have expectations of me. I try my best to really hit those expectations. I know I come up short, and you just got to get better every year, realistically.
What do you enjoy most about being married to your wife?
My wife is my best friend. Like, we really, don't really go out a whole lot. We spend a lot of time with each other. So we work with each other, we grew businesses with each other. We developed different plans of paying off our personal debt. We've been really, really at the hip for so long. So she and I really are best friends. Then sometimes we fall out because we have, conflict is just natural, but then we come right back. So yeah, she's my best friend.
So y'all do things outside of, like, say, even recreational games, chicken around TV, movies.
Yeah, most people would probably think our relationship is boring because we just always with each other. I mean, we can watch the news together and have fun, car rides. I mean, we just recently celebrated a anniversary. If you would see what we did, you'd probably say, "Damn, that's it." But it was just us. We just really wanted to kick back and enjoy, our time together.
So, what areas do you need to grow to make your marriage stronger?
To make my marriage stronger, I think just being more expressive on my feelings would probably help. Men think completely differently than women. Like it's so crazy how it's yin and yang. So where I think that something is a given, like completely understood, I don't have to express it verbally at all. To see those times where it doesn't connect is so frustrating to me. So I just need to do a better job of expressing things and over communicating, to make sure, because anytime there's any conflict, it's because of a lack of communication, but not because I don't want to communicate. It's because I just thought you understood that. Why do I have to say it if it's like, it's a given? But women, at least my woman, she likes for it to be communicated verbal.
How do you resolve conflict in your marriage? What's your style or techniques or strategies?
Man, my style.
Yeah, the Brooklyn style. Tell me about that.
Well, it's actually not as Brooklyn as you would think. My style, because I don't believe in arguing with women. I just don't. But I think my wife sometimes would probably prefer that I would have, because it shows expression. I just be like, nah, I just ignore it, or I'll just walk, go here, go there, because I don't ever want to be loud. That's my goal. It might naturally come out, but I don't want to be loud. But if it's a conflict and it's there, we're back and forth, she wants the dialogue.
Right.
So, I mean, again, I don't profess to be the best communicator with it.
Right.
But as far as the thing that I can do better is to just figure out a way to not let my physical show that I'm angry.
Oh, hey,
that's just
good luck
difficult.
on that, right?
It's just difficult. So I just
I'm trying to say, because I'm trying to see what that looks like when you said, and that's awesome, man, not to want to yell or argue with a woman. So specifically, how would that look so let's say, because even in conflict or disagreement, whether we walk away or avoid the situation, it can actually make it worse.
Oh, it's going to make it worse.
So how do you handle, let's just say, I mean, is it, I say, hey, babe, can we talk about this later, or come back and readdress it, or give me a moment? What does that look like when you with your style?
My style is to never get it to that point, but when it does happen.
Okay, no.
But seriously, because what I try to do is to over communicate to avoid it. Like that's the best thing. If there's any fellas out there who's having trouble with communication, if you think that you've explained it enough, just go ahead and give a little follow-up, But when it happens, and it's something that completely throws you for a loop, if I know that I can't control the anger, I'd rather not say anything.
I got
right now. Again, that could make the situation worse in the moment, but I also feel like you don't want to say or do anything that can really backfire in the long run.
Absolutely.
So me as the man, I just say, hey, you know what? Let me just be quiet until, I'm able to articulate it in a calm manner,
Right.
and then we have the conversation if she's willing.
Absolutely.
Sometimes she ain't willing at that time, but
So, and with your 20 years of leadership skill, plus you say you over communicate, which is probably awesome with the female counterpart, because obviously you're communicating enough where you have buy-in, or at least some level of we're on that same level where I've opened it up so we can dialogue. Hopefully we can get to that next level. So awesome. Is it important that your wife is your number one cheerleader?
Yeah, I do. I think so. And I work really hard to give her a reason to be a cheerleader for me. It doesn't have to necessarily be like, pats on the back or whatever, physically. It's more about the confidence. Like if I'm doing something and, I feel her energy that she knows I got it, that's my like cheerleading. If when she moves out the way, I know she feels like, okay, yeah, I ain't got to worry about it. She might ask a question here and there, but the fact that she's out of the way, because her personality type would not allow her to be out of the way. If she really felt like I was incapable, that she would be on top of me. So that's what I like.
So the women love when I ask this question. What are some of the romantic ways you show your wife love?
I'm not the most romantic guy, but my wife loves my big hands.
Oh, no, man, that go a lot. You mean massage? Where you going with them big
massage? Man, she go crazy. I'm pretty much these hands. That's why they all crooked. Because
yeah.
But no, I love giving her a massage. I'm not really great verbal like all the time as far as like saying certain things that traditional women might like to hear. I mess up with that sometimes, but definitely giving massages, quality time, romantic dinners. I know how to cook too, so
ask you that.
Yeah, I'm the chef in the house. She can cook as well, but I probably cook more than her. I know that's in this day and age it shouldn't be a issue, but definitely in my house I don't mind cooking at all.
You mean on that grill?
Yeah, but I can do the grill, but I'm like truly good in the kitchen too. Like I can cook jerk, chicken, everything.
Come on,
macaroni and cheese.
Come on, man, talk that.
Yeah, I'm the truth.
So listen, I want to get into I like to call this my man questions. And being that you've been in leadership and doing mentorship, this should fit you. What's your mantra that you live by, or mantras? It could be more than just one, but what's that thing you live by?
Man, I would say a few ones. I mean, just leading by example, and a big one for me, because a lot of people when they see me, they can think different things, right? Because of my size. So just really not judging a book by its cover. That's really, really key. I'm very self-aware of my physical stature. So for me, I always make sure I overcompensate at times, especially in a corporate environment or professional environment, to make people feel comfortable. Because naturally, some people might say, "Oh, he's so big. Oh, he's this," So I think it's important to be self-aware when you're just kind of like, "Oh, why are people treating me different?" Maybe they shouldn't, but is it really going to help you move forward? And I understood really early in my life that, okay, I'm different. If I showed you my first grade pictures, you would be like, wow, like I look like a grown man and little kids. And what happened was I remember overhearing teachers, say bad things about me because they assumed I was just like this doofus, this, kid that got left back. They would say all type of mean stuff. Like it took a while. It would always take me like 3-4 months into the school year for them to really realize like, he's like really smart. He's not smart because he's been here 3 years. Like he just got to work like all the regular small kids, but he's just smart. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm telling you, like I used to overhear the teachers all
Right.
the time, like, oh, you got him? Oh. Like they really treated me a different way. But that thick skin, that Brooklyn skin was on me to where it's like, I'm gonna be
Wow.
great.
Awesome, man. Thank God for you.
Yeah.
You just made me think of the kids who weren't able to navigate that issues
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah,
And that says something to adults and those who have authority or in position over our young ones. Be very careful of the words that you put out in
absolutely.
the atmosphere, right? This Moses here, was able to navigate, but what about the other guy who you
Mhm.
really could crush him or her, and that could leave a mark on them and self-doubt, and they may not,
Yeah.
it may take them a while to reach their full potential, even if they do. That's why they said, what did they say, the power of life and
Power.
death is in the tongue, right?
Yeah.
We can destroy and kill things, So Moses, who were some of your heroes or sheroes in general? I mean, the
Man.
past, present.
Well, going back to what you just said about, knocking kids down. Like when I went home, my mom made me feel like that I could do no wrong. So
Okay.
that was my shiro.
Oh man.
Shiro. But then as you get older, you realize, damn, my mom say know everything. So I was like the water boy for a long time. I was like, my mama said this, but I don't know if that was.
Yeah.
So, but fortunately, I still have her to this day. I mean, she
Awesome.
now does what she used to do to me to my daughter,
Yeah.
my baby daughter. Like,
Yeah.
oh, she can't do no
Yeah.
wrong. So, but when I got into the workplace, I had some really good mentors. Folks that gave me the autonomy to
Mhm.
really process, improve, show my creativity in the
Right.
workplace. And what that did was gave me a lot of confidence, and it just built and built and built. And I always wanted to just reciprocate that throughout my career. But them giving me those opportunities was just huge. So I think I had a lot of professional influences.
Yes.
Personal influences as an adult. Again, I'm gonna be honest, didn't really have a lot of great folks that I could say I want to be like them. I had more people that I wanted to not be like them, still love them.
Right.
But when you have that path, things that I knew at 40, I could have known at 30.
Gotcha.
So I just try to, give that same tutelage to people to hopefully get to where I'm at
Right.
a whole lot sooner. Not that 40 something is old, but
No.
still.
And we're good. Like, sometimes some people think like being in your space, it could be financial guys or
Mhm.
motivational speakers, Les Brown, even the guy with a JT. I forgot the guy who's popular now. But like for me, I was in a financial, and when I was really on my entrepreneur path when I was younger, people like Robert Kiyosaki,
Yeah.
reading that book, Rich
Yeah.
Dad, Poor
Rich Dad,
Dad,
Poor
really
Dad,
kind
I
of set
agree.
the foundation. Some too, you mentioned a little earlier too with how you mentioned when you were younger and going into corporate America, into environments where you were self-aware, you knew about your physical size. You're definitely correct on that. Also, I want to mention, even when I first met you, of course your size, that you can't not see that. It's obvious, right? But what I would say about you, Moses, man, I've been an athlete, so I've seen, that's not a big deal to me,
Yeah.
but it's obvious when someone is just bigger, taller, and all of that, right?
Yeah.
But I will say this about you, Moses, your smile. Okay. And I say that to say this to young people in the audience. Don't fall in the trap of being a victim because of whatever, physical attributes, anything. Man, love life. Smile. Be happy. Your smile, man, I don't even see your size. I see it, of course.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like when I'm in the events with you, when we're in the neighborhood, it's your energy, it's
Gotcha.
your inviting type. And that's whether
Tell
your
me
size, tall or small. And because I say that because sometimes people are their own worst enemy. They hating on me because of this or that. No.
Yeah.
Why don't you just smile? Why don't you just be inviting? Why don't you don't talk negative?
Mhm.
So between your smile and you have such a positive, your words are positive, and you're just living, bro. You're just living, and you're a guy. You're a regular guy that guys, we have our own little language, bro.
Very true.
And I say that to say, man, just keep doing what you're doing, and because you have just the smile, which opens up, and your energy, man. So just definitely keep that up. Let me ask you this. Do you take guy trips? Have you taken guy trips, or do you believe in guy trips? What's your philosophy on that?
Man, nah. Ever since I've been married, no, I can't say that I have.
That you haven't taken it?
No.
opposed to them, or you see no use for them for you?
I don't really see a whole lot of use.
Listen,
Because let me tell you why. Because like you said, right, guys have a language, right? Guys typically bond, and I don't want to get you in trouble, so I ain't gonna
No,
say
you
too
can't
much.
give me.
All right.
I don't go on the.
Okay, all right.
I can't look. Mine don't let me go.
All right,
I'm
cool,
going
cool.
to tell you, man.
Guys bond typically over women, sports, cars, or money.
Okay.
Like those pretty much kind of the main things,
the big
right?
4, huh? Or 5.
Now, if you go on a guy's trip and you're not trying to get no girls, you're not, you know what I'm saying? Like people have different, it's just, it doesn't make sense to me. Like I feel like being around a lot of dudes when I was like free and single made sense. Cause then you can like let loose. You can do what you want.
Right.
You know, so I don't see the need for it at this point. And not even because it's on like some like temptation or whatever. Like I've always been really good at that. But it's just more like I don't want to be around it. That's the power of things too. Like, you know, don't put yourself in positions that you know want to be at. Like if someone called my wife right now and said, yeah, we see Moses out with a few ladies out there, she wouldn't believe it. Yeah. That just hands down.
Right.
Hands down. She wouldn't even bring it to me.
Right.
You know, so those are the type of things like I just don't see a need for it. Yeah. Let's be honest.
And you know what? Regular guy thoughts. You mess me up with going with the DR with my friends. Thank you, Moses. No, on a joke. No. But listen, Moses, I posed that question to other guests, right?
Yeah.
And I thought just like you, but man, some guys pose, if you have a specific agenda, like in particular, like I got some guys who are in the religious world, and they would take guy trips as ministry. What a purpose. Yeah, you know, some guys say they take golf trips, but
yeah, you know, I won't say that it's bad. So ladies, I don't want you to think that, you know, you gotta have, because my wife would let me go, right? Because but I just personally don't see the value in it, because I'd rather just say, hey T, come to the house and we just watch the game.
Absolutely.
And we can just act a fool and then you go home. Why we gotta take a trip?
We do live in Atlanta. Why we got to go down the road to the Shay?
Yeah, so I'm just not there.
Yeah. So look, what's your philosophy on loaning money to family and friends?
Oh man, so I learned this from my wife, for sure, because I used to lend money to family and friends, and they get mad as hell when they don't pay me like they supposed to pay.
You get mad or they get mad?
I get mad
get mad
because I feel like if you say, this is the type of person you say, hey, you know what, Moses, man, I need $100.
Right.
First thing I would say is like, okay, when can you pay me back? Right. You say next Friday. I'm gonna say, this is how I always used to do. Pay me the Friday after that.
You giving grace.
I'm gonna give you more time.
I'm gonna give you more time
because I just don't even want the chance of you not paying me my money on time.
Moses, you setting them up for success.
Exactly. So when it don't happen,
right,
man, I lose. That's when the Brooklyn come out. That's when the Brooklyn come out.
I understand that, because you gave them double.
Gave you
the time.
Gave you.
And they still broke
curfew.
Didn't do it. Still broke the basically there's an insult. Yeah.
So I had some of the moments until I learned from my wife that don't lend nothing that you don't want back. Well, some way she said it, like, hey, just because you want to get to the point where it's like, hey, just
it's almost
it's all good. Yeah. Because it's out of your hand.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? Yeah, that's most men I talk to, they say, hey, you know what? I give what
I can lose, or something like that.
Even, and if it comes back, that's even great.
Yeah.
But even if it comes back, man, you have to evaluate individuals, because some people would play that game where they give back just to give back. Then you get caught in that circle, right?
Yeah.
So, and then you say you have to evaluate your circle and your friend. Well, I shouldn't say that, because we got family, but I just thank God, man, I have great family and friends. That's never been a burden on me, bro. I've done it before in the past, and like you said, sometimes certain things in life I look at it as a buyout. I bought out a person who shouldn't have been in my life anyway. Like if you're willing, or if you mess up a friendship of 100, 300, 200, man, you know what? That was a good payoff to learn about your character. You know what I mean? And now I never have to worry about you. I can honestly say that's not been an issue for me, but glad to hear from you. So look, then this is key. I want to hear your response. How do you distinguish boys from men?
Man, because there's a lot of adolescents out there for sure. I think how you lead your household is key. Because I mean, people say, "Oh, I'm a grown man," and all that. Are you able to lead your household? Take care of yourself, take care of your family. You're not living off of anybody. Like I'm not saying it got to be a big house or whatever, but you have the basic man essentials, which I feel like is a roof over your head, food in your belly, some type of vehicle. I feel like that's like essential. That's basic man stuff. I got a ride to get to where I need to go. I got a source of income, whether it's, hey, I'm mowing lawns, or I got a corporate job, or I do whatever. So if you're able to take care of yourself and take care of your responsibilities with no intervention or little intervention here and there, 'cause some people might need help here and there. But if you can do that, I consider you're a grown man.
Awesome. Awesome. What would you say to the young people, or not particularly young men, about contemplating marriage? Those who, when they think of marriage, think about it in a negative sense, as such as I'm losing me, I'm losing things, I'm losing money, which probably don't have any money at a young age, but feel like they're losing their freedom, they're losing themselves. What would you say to them about the enhancement of marriage in your life? How would you convey that, or speaking to a person's life who's kind of on the edge, not sure about this thing called marriage?
I would say for marriage, really understand what a marriage is. A marriage is not being a couple, like a boyfriend-girlfriend situation. We talked about this before we was recording. Like, understand that dynamic, because when you're a boyfriend, girlfriend, you have that time to break away, right? Most of the times people have their own place. So you can only come together when it's like good times, right? So you're going on trips, you're going on dates, oh, I miss you all day, that type of stuff, right? And then you break away. Then you also have your own bank accounts and all that type of stuff. So nothing is merged. I think if you really don't understand that you're going from being your individual to now being a collected one person, that part is hard to plan for, right? So I don't even think you can plan for it, right? What I think you should do is understand that when that train comes, will you be able to weather that storm, right? Will you like this person if it's not vacations? Will you like this person and want to be around this person if it's not date night? Will you want to be around this person to have a child with them, right? Or even if you don't have, my wife and I don't have biological children, but we still raise children, right? Our parenting styles are completely different. Sometimes I cringe. I'll be like, oh, I wouldn't have did that. And she probably does the same thing for me. Are you able to really go along with that? So I would just tell people, don't let lust or a strong drive you into marriage. Really start to look for the things that you dislike about that person and ask yourself, can I really deal with that? Because those are the things that's going to make you stay. I'm going to be honest with you. Because the things that you dislike come to light, you feel them more because it just pops up. You're like, oh, right? So
Right.
I think people should ask themselves, what is something I really dislike about the person, and just really be true and real to themselves if they can really stomach that for life. That is something that's key. Because when you're out here dating, the whole dating phase, the honeymoon phase, all feels good. It's that stuff when you just can't, you're not going to be able to escape them. You know what I'm saying? Because you're there, same house, same address, same bank account, same everything, same kids. It's just, you have to be like all in for better or for worse. And I don't think people really take that seriously.
So hopefully you guys want to get married. No,
But
that's a good
it's
response.
great. It's great if it's done right. I'm taking from a person who didn't get it right the first time. And, but if you take the advice I gave and really, assess it that way, I think you'll make the right decision to get the right one.
Awesome. Listen, man, it's been my pleasure, man. This has been such an awesome, awesome podcast. You sharing about your life, about yourself, and even with your marriage. I want to wrap this up and just say, what is something that you want your wife to know and never forget?
Well, I would say that, to my beautiful wife, I might not say it all the time, but just know that you're the one for me. And I love you so much. And I'm going to give you those 50 years plus, hopefully, a whole lot more than that. So I just love you. Be patient with me. I know I'm not perfect, but I'm very fortunate that you're in my life. And I just, look forward to many years to come. Love.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Listen, another great conversation, another amazing guest, another marriage story truly worth exploring. Moses, I want to thank you so much for spending time with us, sharing your journey. And to our audience, thank you for tuning in. Now, until the next episode, don't forget to subscribe, like us, comment, share, ask any questions you'd like for me to ask my guests. This is your boy T. Sten on A Husband's Heart. And remember, talk to me, I'll listen. Moses, thank you so much, bro.
All right. Appreciate you.
Yeah, awesome, awesome, awesome.
All right.